but time to talk a bit of cricket. JL,
it is.
With the man you spend each and every morning with, Wayne Clark, of course, former Test cricketer. Good afternoon, Wayne. How are you?
Good, thanks, Alex. Hey, Jacob.
How's your day been since you left the Sport FM studio, Wayne? What have you been up to?
Oh, just, normal things, nothing.
Has JL had any sleep-ins over the last couple of weeks?
Geez, you're not letting this go, are you?
No, he learned his lesson, I think. Yeah. And, no, look, Jacob, it's been a beautiful day. I've been out walking around the river and up to Kings Park and having all that sort of stuff. So, looking forward to getting to breakfast in the morning.
Much nicer day today than yesterday, so I'm glad you were able to get out and about. And I know you were trying to play golf in the wet yesterday, so I'm glad it was it was at the Vines. It was nicer up at the Vines, though, wasn't it, Wayne? You missed most of the rain yesterday.
Yeah, we only got about one shower up there. It wasn't too bad, actually. It was when we finished, and then it was biblical. But while we played, we got away with it, which was good.
Happy days. Sorry.
It was similar on Sunday as far as wet weather was concerned, Wayne. The covers got their first use at Optus Stadium. It's only taken 7-8 years, but the covers came out for the first time, and the rain almost had the biggest say. But Australia winning the first one-day international, and the bowlers really enjoyed those conditions.
Yeah, it was disappointing, wasn't it, for the crowd, because they said that they'd sold about 50-odd thousand. They got 42 there, which I think was pretty good considering the forecast. But I think the rain may have helped extend the game a little bit, because with India at 4 for 40 before it came, I think they were in a bit of trouble on that bouncy wicket. And the thing I got out of it, and what I was looking at, was the Ashes. This was a one-day wicket that they've prepared, and that had so much pace and bounce. I'm really looking forward to the type of wicket that's going to be prepared for the Ashes series out at Optus, and see how the Englishmen cope with that. I think the Aussies have played on that sort of condition, but I think that's going to be fantastic. But that's another thing. Look, Australia played pretty well, didn't they? Mitch Marsh is in a magnificent form, and the guy that I felt happy for was young Josh Philippe. I thought his innings, he kept very, very well. I think that was the start. He got the opportunity with Carey opting to play Shield cricket, and then he batted well, in the situation. So, just a general good win. But this is the thing now, that sides come to play international little tournaments, and they don't have any practice beforehand. I mean, India, I don't know, they were playing at home on flatties, and then they've got to come and try and play on these bouncy wickets. It's always going to be very, very difficult. So, an expected win by Australia.
As a bowler, only a small thing, but as a bowler yourself, Wayne, is it a bit disappointing to see Mitch Marsh get given man of the match for a 46 not out in a win that was completely set up and, I guess, enabled by the bowlers? I thought Josh Hazlewood only got the 2 wickets, but 2 key top-order wickets, kept it pretty tight, might have been a little bit more deserving.
Alex, I thought you would understand it a lot better than that. The game is made by batsmen. They make it so difficult. And it's a wonder there's not only one stump now. And, all the rules are changed so that it helps batsmen. So, of course they're going to do it. Oh, it looks flary, a bit sixes. The bowlers, they just wear themselves out over a period of time doing the hard stuff. So, no, I'm not surprised. But I would have liked it the other way. But, we've got to learn.
I agree. As a batsman yourself, JL.
I'm not a batsman. Trust me, I'm not a cricketer. I just enjoy watching the game. I'm with you. I really enjoyed Josh Phillippe's game, but I saw him afterwards, Wayne, and you told me that he'd had a bit of regrowth. That is quite special what he's been able to do on top, because he was basically bald last summer, and now he's had a great regrowth.
Yeah, I don't know how much was still there, but he used to shave it and shine it up as like a beach ball sort of thing. And, it's a good job. I would imagine he got paid pretty well for that. Yeah. And it does look pretty... It makes him look totally different character. I've known him as a long time through his old man Steve, of course. And, when he was bald, that was when I had to keep looking a second time to see it was Josh. But, it's a pretty good job, actually. Pretty good advertisement.
Well, he's still only a young man, so he wants to keep the feathers a little bit longer, and he's playing very well with that new aerodynamic haircut as wicketkeeper for Australia. So the one-day series, there'll be a couple more games. We've got T20s as well. We've also got Sheffield Shield cricket. Now, there's 6 matches through and it's been fairly tough work for the batsmen. 3 games each in the first 2 rounds. Who has stood out in the first fortnight of Sheffield Shield for you, Wayne, with the bat in particular to push their claims for the Ashes?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, and there's a lot of discussion, and we had Mike Hussey on it this morning about, the difference in the wickets that the guys got to play on. And, when you look at Bancroft, Whiteman, Constas, Curtis Patterson having to play on that whacker wicket the first game, they had no chance of making runs. And then you compare what, Labuschagne got at Border Field, a bit of a flatty that thing, but... And as he said, it's the way Labuschagne's gone about it and his different attitude. I think he's been the most impressive. And then when you look at the other games, I think Weatherald is the other one that's put his hand up big time. And I think he's got to be a very, very big chance because the wickets he's made runs on haven't been easy, especially the one in Tassie, which you saw, Jacob, on the weekend. I think his innings really was, well, by far a match-winning innings, and the pace that he got it to set Tasmania up the way he did, I think is good. And it's an amazing story. He was playing for South Australia, and 1 minute he'd get a big 100 and then he'd fail, and then he had obviously a few mental health, and he gave the game away for a while. And then he came back, and then he's made the move to Tasmania, and he just looks so content with himself and the way that he's going about it. I think he's ready for that next step. I think the way that he plays the game, it's a bit like Mitch Marsh has gone and decided, I don't want to play Test cricket. I'm just playing for fun. How much better does he look, in the way he plays and how relaxed he is? Because he's not that worried about it getting out, and he just lets his ability take over. And if you could teach that into young kids early, it'd make a hell of a difference from having to go through what Constance is going through at the moment, where he doesn't even know where his feet are going, I reckon, at the moment.
We might ask about Constance in a sec, but I agree. I'd be pretty disappointed if Jake Weatherall doesn't get a go. He's an opener. We need someone to partner. I mean, Kawaja's getting picked regardless of what he makes in the Shield, so we need someone to partner him at the top. I think it'd be farcical if we put in another makeshift opener. No, don't put Labuschagne up there.
One more score, I reckon, Wayne, and Weatherall's in. If he gets a score in the next Sheffield Shield match, he's in the Test team for me.
So you think you're sorry, go on, Wayne.
No, it's just I agree with that, but it's what they want to do with Green and where Green's at. That's the way that I've seen it. That they were always planning that Green will come back and bowl, and then we'll move him down the list. If he comes back and bowl, are they prepared to leave him at 3, open with Labuschagne, or if they're going to bat him down, then that opens the opportunity for Weatherall, which I think is what should happen, and then Labuschagne at 3, Smith at 4. I'd love to see Smith at 4 because he's the best 3. But that's not going to happen because he doesn't want it and he's allowed to do what he wants. He's only just come back from New York. He might play the last couple of games. Who knows? Then the one that misses out, which is going to be so unfortunate, is Webster. If that's the case. So they've sort of known what they've wanted. I think Labuschagne helped them with making scores as big as he did. It really meant they've got to pick him. But I'm just interested to see what happens with Green, and I hope he bowls in this next Shield game and he bowls more than bloody 4 overs, and not allowed to bowl the next day after bowling 4 overs, and then we'll get an idea of where the balance of the team. And Webster might maybe end up being 12th man, unluckiest man ever, but I think he always knew that he was just keeping the seat warm for Green when he got back into form.
Gee, I'm not sure that Cam Green warrants number 3 at the moment. His West Indian tour was okay. He's had a long time out with injury. I know it's ODI and T20 form, but apart from that one game in Mackay, his form against South Africa was poor. Didn't make any runs against New South Wales. Has he warranted number 3 spot for Australia? Given he's had a few injury concerns, even a bit of soreness in the last few weeks, would it be better to just put him back at 6, get him bowling a few overs and play a specialist batsman like Jake Weatherall up the top and then go Labuschagne, Smith 3, 4 in your mind, Wayne?
Well, I think, that if Cummins was playing, I don't think they'd probably think they needed Green, that Webster could play the role and he can sit out. But that may change things because Green's got a fair bit of pace, that the others haven't. Webster bowls a nice little medium pace, and Boland is, he's going to be excellent. There's no two ways about it. But I don't know what role Lyon's going to play. He should get a lot of bounce, so he should, if he bowls well, be pretty dangerous on it as well. But yeah, the Green thing is if he's not fit, we'll leave him out and play Webster. But I just think they love him and he'll play whether he plays as a batsman or as an all-rounder.
Hey Wayne, Sam Constas hasn't had a spectacular start to the Shield season. Tough conditions in Perth. Got a 50 in Melbourne in the second innings, but a duck in the first innings of that match. Has his chance to play in the Ashes passed him by?
To do the right thing by him, yes. I think if they put him in, I think it could really bugger him up. He just doesn't know what he wants to do. He doesn't know whether he wants to be aggressive or then he's just caught in two minds, and that's affecting his technique. And again, talking to Mike Hussey, and who better to talk to for the young kid than talk to Mike Hussey, who just made thousands and thousands of runs in Shield cricket, honed his game, improved the game. He came in as a little stodgy left-handed opening batsman, and then ended up being one of the best 2020 players, one-day players, and of course an unbelievable test player because he got the basics and did the hard work. And that's what Constas needs to do. He needs to go back to Shield cricket and just bat for long periods. And whoever's advising him, get it right of what he wants to be as a player. If you're going to play all these ramp shots and that, he's not going to last as an opener in Test cricket. Go and play one-day cricket and make millions of dollars. But I think he's obviously got the talent, to be a Test player. But there's a hell of a lot he's got to do now to get it right before they should pick him again.
Well, last one for me. We had a listener earlier, Wayne, ask us whether there's concerns for Australian cricket longer term because there's a lot of players over 30 and a few actually over 35. Khawaja and Stark come to mind, in particular Smith too. Do you have concerns longer term for Australian cricket and the depth coming through for players to be successful long Test careers?
Well, I'll give you the tip. About 12 months ago, I was pretty confident of what it was about. But now we've had to sit down and think, okay, who have we got as openers? And then seeing what's going on and whose names come up, you just think, oh, okay, it's not as strong as what we've got. And there's no other real batsman out there at the moment just knocking the door down. So if Khawaja goes as well soon, look, opportunity always brings the best out of people and we'll do it. But it's the same with the bowling. We've got bowling, and then who do we go to next? And do we go back to Nisa? We've got Doggett, he's injured. We've got Richardson. Well, we don't know. He can't stay on the park. Lance Morris is, so all the names that we thought were there just waiting, you can't, there's no way you can rely on them at the moment. So, yeah, there is a concern. And, we could lose 4 unbelievable players nearly all at once, the 3 bowlers and Khawaja, So, I have been concerned now that I've sort of started to try and analyse who will take the spot. It's just there's no one there really performing and knocking the door down.
No, very fair point. Let's turn our attention to a bit of racing. We want to get an update. We're speaking to Steve Wolf in about 15 minutes, Clarkey, and we might ask him about Jelly Bean and Anaconda Jones. Have you got any update for us? The 2 horses, of course, you've got a leg in.
Yeah, Jelly Bean's just looking fantastic, I think.
Never been better.
It's been in training for about 4 or 5 weeks, I think, so it's got it down and we'll start doing it. And they hope to sort of get it in early November, I think, to start trialling. It could end up Jelly Beans, who knows. It just better do the right thing this time, I think. But Wolfie's going pretty well, actually. He had the last couple of winners have been beauties, The last Wednesday he had 21 and 20-1, another one the other day. He's absolutely on fire and roped them in. I think that's obviously his key at the moment. But what's the other one?
Red Can Man.
Daytona Pete.
Daytona Pete.
Yeah.
I think that might be an injured. That was another one that he was pretty keen on. Red Can Man, well, that's older than bloody me, but it still ran a pretty good race. It ran a really good race in
Cal.
That fourth that it ran. Yeah, it was a bloody belter, and they were pretty keen about that too. So look, he's got some pretty talented horses. He's got a few young ones coming through. So he's a bit excited about it. I'm sure he'll tell you.
Red Can Man's been nominated at this stage for the Winterbottom Stakes. So you reckon it's old, but Red Can Man could run around in the Winterbottom.
He is old, but he's been still fronting up and
a
performing
bit like
well.
Wayne, just continues to front up and do his job so beautifully.
Well, it had a problem, and they've got it out, and they seem to have sorted. I don't know if it was a leg or whatever it was. So, it came back this time, and they were very, very buoyant about it. And it's won nearly $1 million. So I'd like to have a leg of it.
Hey, good luck with your upcoming runners, Clarkie. Thanks so much for your time, mate. Really appreciate you coming on.
All right, good on you, lads.
Great
See you later.
stuff.
Thanks, Danny.
Former Test cricketer Wayne Clark.